from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Henrico takes a step backwards on the unemployment front, and the county's virus-related death total this month has already surpassed that of June. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute for Friday, July 3rd, 2020. It's brought to you today by Henrico Area Mental Health.
And now for the news.
Well, after 11 weeks of improving news for unemployment in Henrico, the county took a step backward last week. For the first time in 3 months, the number of Henrico residents who filed initial unemployment claims rose during the most recent reporting week. That's according to data released yesterday by the Virginia Employment Commission. The jump was a dramatic one, too. A total of 1,004 people filed first-time claims during the week of June 21st through 27th. That's an increase of nearly 40% from the previous week. The county's first-time filings had declined ever since peaking during the week that ended April 4th at 5,586 filers that week. Henrico wasn't alone in the change. 113 of the state's 133 localities also witnessed an increase in initial claims during the most recent week. By contrast, only 24 had witnessed an increase the previous week. Henrico reported the seventh highest number of new filers, and it has also reported the seventh highest total of initial filers overall since the pandemic began, a total of just shy of 33,000 people during the 14-week period. Statewide, almost 32,000 people filed first-time claims during the most recent week. That's a jump of about 26% from the previous week. Now, in Henrico, only about 46% of people who filed initial unemployment claims during those first 13 weeks of the pandemic filed continuing claims last week. That suggests that some have returned to work. And data released earlier this week by the VEC would seem to confirm that. Henrico's available workforce grew by nearly 3,000 people during the month of May, according to the agency, and the number of unemployed residents fell by nearly 2,500 from April. As a result, the county's unemployment rate also fell from 11.1% at the end of April to 9.5% at the end of May. The agency calculated the county's overall workforce to be 180,480 in May. That's up from just shy of 178,000 the previous month. And the number who were employed, more than 163,000, represented an increase of more than 5,000 from April. The number of unemployed was registered at 17,193. Well, the Virginia Department of Health reported 11 new COVID-19 related deaths in Henrico County during the first 2 days of July. That's more than the entire month of June in Henrico, when only 10 deaths were attributed to the virus. In total now, the county's number of COVID-related deaths is up to 152. Details about the 11 new deaths were not immediately available, but it is known that only one of the county's deaths since late May has occurred in a person younger than age 60. In total, 77 deaths have occurred among those 80 or older, 36 among those in their 70s, and 28 among those in their 60s. 8 people in their 50s and 2 in their 40s also have died from the virus in Henrico. The county's 7-day moving positivity average of new cases continues to increase just slightly. It's up from 6.1% June 27th to 6.3% June 28th. That was the most recent data available. The county reported 12 new cases during each of the first 2 days of July, increasing its total number to 2,615 out of nearly 34,500 tests that have been administered. That's an overall percentage of positivity of about 7.7%. Kroger Mid-Atlantic recently presented 9 of Feedmore's agency network members with grants that they'll use to obtain critically needed resources to strengthen programming and expand outreach to people struggling with hunger throughout Central Virginia. 2 of those entities were in Henrico and Glen Allen. The St. Paul's Baptist Church in Eastern Henrico and Mount Olive Outreach in Glen Allen were among the recipients. The funding will help the 9 groups purchase items like freezer units, storage and supplies for a fresh garden project, and others. Many of Feed More's agencies have seen an uptick in need since March as a result of the economic impacts of the pandemic. If you haven't checked out our other podcast Today in Henrico, I would encourage you to do so. It's a series of brief audio conversations with various Henrico newsmakers. We're focusing initially on a number of local nonprofits. You can get caught up. Each conversation's no more than about 10 minutes. Our 2 most recent episodes feature Andrea Starr of the Forward Foundation, formerly the Sophie House, and Karen Legato of Health Brigade, formerly the Fan Free Clinic. And today's edition just went live this morning. It features Pam Kempf of the Henrico Division of Recreation and Parks, updating residents on the county's 4th of July plans this weekend. Check them out on henricocitizen.com by clicking under podcasts and then Today in Henrico. If you've got a dog or another animal that you might tether outside from time to time, a new law that took effect on July 1st has changed how you can do that. You can no longer tether an animal outdoors when the temperature is 85 degrees or higher or 32 degrees or below, or during any type of weather advisory. The tether length must also be 15 feet or 4 times the length of the animal.
As we all strive to do our part during this extraordinary time, Henrico Area Mental Health serves as your local and public mental health agency, continuing to do its part. We all experience mental health challenges, especially during extreme challenging times.
It doesn't matter your age, gender, race, or ethnicity. Each person is affected differently. If you're a resident of Charles City, New Kent, or Henrico counties, and you, a family member or friend or someone you know, may need someone to talk to about the mental health challenges being experienced.
Do your part and call us at 804-727-8515. That's 804-727-8515. We're here to help. Remember, mental health is good health. Call Henrico Area Mental Health at 804-727-8515. That number again is 804-727-8515.
This message comes to you from Henrico County CSB Prevention Services.